The person who loves you the most will never admit how deeply you affect them. They will never openly say that your presence can shake their entire world, or that a single message from you can change the direction of their whole day. They will act normal. They will act calm. They will pretend they are okay. But deep inside, they are fighting storms you can't see. And that's the strange thing about love when it's real. Sometimes the people who love the hardest don't come closer. They step back. They avoid. They dissipate. Not because they don't care, but because they care so much that it terrifies them. When someone loves you deeply, their silence is not empty. It's crowded with emotions they don't know how to express. Their distance is not rejection, it's protection. And their avoidance isn't about you hurting them. It's about them being scared of hurting you, or worse, exposing how much power you actually have over them. People think love makes you bold. Sometimes it does. But the real truth is that love also makes you vulnerable, sensitive, and afraid. Especially when you love someone so deeply that you feel them in your bones. When that happens, the heart becomes complicated. Every step becomes cautious. Every word becomes heavy. Every feeling becomes sharp. And that is exactly why the person who loves you a lot ends up ignoring you a lot. Because love, real love, has three fears. Three quiet, invisible fears that make a person pull away from the one they want the most. The first fear is the fear of losing you. This fear hits the hardest. When someone loves you deeply, you are not just a person anymore. You become their peace, their comfort, their safe place, their emotional home. And when someone becomes your home, the thought of losing them feels like the thought of losing yourself. So they avoid you, not because they don't want you, but because they don't want to accidentally mess things up. They second-guess every move. They overthink every text. They question their worth. And their mind keeps whispering, what if I get too close and they walk away? What if they realize they deserve better? What if I'm never enough? That fear makes them retreat. It makes them appear distant. It makes them act like they don't care, when in reality they care too much. The person who loves you deeply becomes scared of destroying the very connection they want to protect. So instead of risking mistakes, they step back. Their silence becomes a strange way of holding on. Their distance becomes a strange way of staying safe. Not safe from you, safe from their own fear. The second fear is the fear of being hurt. When someone loves you truly, you don't just live in their mind, you live in their heart. And the heart remembers everything, every past betrayal, every heartbreak, every disappointment. Even if you've never hurt them, their past might have. And the ghosts of their past become shadows over their present. Love opens old wounds. It brings back memories they thought they healed from. So when they feel something strong for you, those old fears get triggered. Suddenly they're scared of trusting, scared of hoping, scared of believing that this time it's different. They start imagining worst-case scenarios. What if you leave? What if you change? What if everything goes wrong again? And instead of letting history repeat itself, they create distance. They avoid you because being close to you feels risky. They ignore you because paying attention feels dangerous. They pull back because falling deeper feels like falling into a place they might not survive again. And here's something you must understand. The deeper the love, the deeper the fear. People who don't feel much don't fear much. But people who feel deeply fear everything. That's why the person who loves you intensely also becomes the person who gets scared of you. Not scared of your personality, not scared of your presence, scared of the emotional power you hold. Scared that you could break something inside them that they spent years trying to fix. The third fear is the fear of expressing too much. When someone truly loves you, their emotions become loud, but their actions become quiet. They want to text you all day, but they don't. They want to call you at night, but they stop themselves. They want to tell you how much they miss you, but they swallow the words. Not because they are cold, not because they don't care, but because they don't know if you feel the same. They fear that showing too much will push you away. They fear looking desperate, clingy, or weak. They fear overwhelming you. So instead of showing everything, they hide everything. Instead of reaching out, they hold back. Instead of moving closer, they act like they don't notice. Their silence is full. Their quietness is loud. Their distance is emotional control. They are scared that if they show their real feelings, you might not understand. You might not value it. Or worse, you might not feel it back. And rejection from the person they love would destroy them. So they choose the safe option. They hide their heart even while loving you with it. These three fears create a strange behavior. They feel like they are protecting themselves, but in reality, they are suffering. They carry love that has nowhere to go. They carry words they can't say. They carry feelings they can't express. And sometimes, they get trapped between wanting you and fearing the consequences of wanting you. Their heart moves forward, but their mind pulls them back. Their emotions say, "Go closer," but their fears whisper, "Be careful." They want you more than they admit, but they show it less than they should. And that creates confusion. That creates silence. That creates distance. But behind all that distance is love, raw, quiet, and aching. Sometimes they avoid you after getting attached too quickly. Maybe they didn't expect to feel something so deep. Maybe they thought they were emotionally stronger. Maybe they promised themselves they wouldn't fall again. But love happens before they can protect themselves. Suddenly your smile affects them. Your voice calms them. Your sadness worries them. Your presence matters. And when someone starts to matter too much, fear becomes automatic. They start pushing you away to see if their heart is safe. They start ignoring you to see if they can control their emotions. They start acting cold because the fire inside them is burning too hot. People ignore the person they love deeply because that love exposes every insecurity they have. It makes them feel small. It makes them feel vulnerable. It makes them feel like everything depends on something they cannot control. And here's the irony. The more they ignore you, the more they think about you. Their mind becomes louder at night. They check your messages even when they don't reply. They wait for your updates even when they pretend not to care. They talk to you in their head because they can't talk to you in real life. They love you, but they fear showing it. They care, but they fear confessing it. They feel everything, but they express nothing. And they hope that you somehow understand their silence. They hope you see the love behind the distance. They hope you feel the emotions behind the calmness. But humans are not mind readers. Silence breaks connections. Distance creates doubts. Avoidance creates confusion. Yet they keep doing it because their fear is stronger than their confidence. Sometimes they avoid you because they think you deserve better. When someone truly loves you, they see your beauty, your kindness, your strength, your light. And sometimes they don't see the same in themselves. They feel unworthy. They feel not enough. They feel like you are too good for them. So they step away before you step away. Their silence becomes a form of self-protection, not rejection. They leave before they are left. They distance themselves before you lose interest. They pull back before they get too attached. It's not you. It's their belief that you deserve someone better. And that belief becomes a self-punishment. Sometimes they ignore you because their feelings are too overwhelming. They don't know how to handle emotions that big. Loving you feels like standing at the edge of a cliff, wanting to jump but being terrified of the fall. So they freeze. They hesitate. They hide. They stay silent even when their heart screams your name. They avoid eye contact because looking at you shows too much. They avoid conversations because talking to you makes them feel vulnerable. They avoid closeness because closeness makes their guard melt. Their love is intense, but their fear is even more intense. The person who loves you a lot doesn't ignore you because they want someone else. They ignore you because they want you too much. Their love makes them emotional. Their feelings make them insecure. Their attachment makes them scared. And their silence becomes their shield. They push you away hoping you pull them closer. They ignore you hoping you understand their heart. They act distant hoping you won't give up on them. But love doesn't work like that. Silence cannot express what words can. Distance cannot protect what honesty can. And avoidance cannot build what vulnerability can. The truth is, when someone loves you deeply, the safest thing they can do is communicate. But communication requires courage. And courage is not easy when the heart is fragile. So they love you in hidden ways. They love you silently. They love you without expecting anything back. They love you with the fear of losing you. They love you with the fear of being hurt. They love you with the fear of expressing too much. And that combination creates distance. But behind that distance is the truth. They love you more than you realize. They think about you more than they admit. They feel for you more than they show. And their silence is not the absence of love. It is the presence of fear. Their heart is full, but their confidence is empty. Their love is strong, but their courage is weak. And their avoidance is not rejection, it is protection. If you ever wondered why the person who loves you the most becomes the person who pulls away the most, remember this. Love makes people brave, but it also makes people afraid. And the ones who love the deepest are the ones who fear the deepest. That is why they ignore. That is why they avoid. And that is why their silence should never be mistaken for indifference. It is love, quiet, scared, overwhelming, and real.